Hello everybody, welcome to our next ESTA Talks. This is the afternoon by ESTA, powered by ESTA CB. Today is very important day because we have with us to speak and to show more about all his ideas and thoughts and all his history and experience, Kristian Kolman. Kristian Kolman is a member of the Central Board already from 8 years. He will start the 9 years and the last year of his presence in the Central Board, because as you know, all know that Central Board, we have mandates of 3 years and it's only possible to renovate the mandate 3 times. So that's why Kristian must leave us, and that's the right opportunity to ask him everything because now he's obliged to answer. He's under the judgment of the Central Board. I want to remember you very important activity that we are also organizing that starts next Sunday at this time. I would call this the ESTA time, ESTA afternoon time, Sunday. And next Sunday we start a workshop series that will be with our gentle president, Geza Zilvai, and it will be 6 or 7 sessions. You have already the dates, everything is in our website, so go there, see everything, put in your schedule and be ready for this fantastic workshop series. So now let's start with Kristian, and as usual, Kristian, this is a very friendly atmosphere, and we are here because we love music, we love teaching, and let's start to know a little bit about you. Maybe you can introduce yourself, how you start your dream and passion with music, and we will speak here together for 45 minutes.
Oh, hello, dear colleagues, dear friends. Perhaps I have very similar story about starting with all of you from the early beginning, but perhaps it would be more interesting for you how my story started with ESTA. Okay, I was on the beginning, I graduated with violin on Ljubljana Academy for Music. And after that, I was also interested to playing viola. And I went again academy and finished also viola. And so some master studies, etc. And after that, there was 1998, the international conference of ESTA in Trieste, nearby Slovenia. That's in the northern part of Italy, in the border. And so in this year, the ESTA Slovenia has been established. But first, let's say 5-6 years, there were no activity. And I've been asked from my friend and colleague Volodya to visit once a meeting in Academy in Ljubljana, ESTA meeting, like a General Assembly. And the first president, or the former president, Professor Škarjanc, asked me to take the position of a secretary. And I had no idea what is ESTA, what kind of organization, just by the name. And I've got a huge map with several documents. And so, and after that, I realized that this organization, or Slovenian branch, didn't pay any international fee, didn't pay any taxes. It was really a mess in a paper. So the the branch has some 180 members, but nobody paid any membership fee. So that was really, and I was upset because I really respected the former president, and because he was also my teacher of a chamber music, very acclaimed cello player and a soloist, and so, but this kind of job was perhaps too much for him. So some of the first steps were to fix the organization, to ask members to pay membership, and so that was this early beginning, and it was 2004, and already after 2 years, 2006. I managed to collect some colleagues and to visit the first international conference. It was in Cremona, in Italy. And I met fantastic person, Professor Bruno Giurana, who was in this time the president of ESTA Italy, not the ESTA International. And so, and these this a small group leading with Volodya Bajulorsky, our president in this time. We somehow planned, perhaps we can also do this something like an international conference, really because we thought that it is the best thing to start or to collect the colleagues around the country, because in this time some colleagues were only from some 3-4 centers from Slovenia, and so but our intention was really to have colleagues from at least every public music school.
Yes, Kristian, thank you very much. As everybody knows, Kristian is from Slovenia. He will tell us more about the ESTA Slovenia for sure. But I would like, I think we could share a little bit. I think when you start music, Slovenia was still a part of Yugoslavia, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Can you do you think something changed how it was in that time? Could you, because it's quite important now to understand this border, the strong borders or soft borders, and how is good or not good to cross borders and meet people from the other side, all these kind of things. It's very actual, and it's very, I think it's important for us to understand it now. So maybe you could tell us how was your childhood, and how you felt this idea of different worlds, for example, between Slovenia and Italy, that it was so near.
Yeah, very good question. Because when I was in a middle school, in a gymnasium, the independence of Slovenia happened. So in the 1990 late December, and I was already in this time the first year in academy. But before that, as probably you know, Slovenia was part of former Yugoslavia, the most northern country, and so I have to notice we always had the same curricula for music school, like in Croatia, Serbia, Macedonia, and when there were some competition, like in Slovenia, it was like a republic competition. After that, the best went on a federal Yugoslavia competition. So I went in Dubrovnik, very famous Croatia town, and it was fantastic for me because school paid air flight for me. I was, let's say, 16 years old, and was really amazing experience. But after that, when after the separation of ex-Yugoslavia, there are countries, and so this the place is little bit more has become more narrow, and there were borders between Slovenia, Croatia, which were not existed before. While on the other side, some borders to Italy, to Austria, there were never so closed, or because we could travel, but you just need the Italian lira or Austrian shilling or Deutsche Mark for a conversion in the late 80s, let's say. And there were famous traveling in Trieste, in Venezia, or also in Graz in Austria. And some of the Slovenians, we had relatives or also in these countries, in all, for me, for example, in Austria, and some of us or our colleagues in Italy. But the borders, let's say, to the east, to Hungary, because we are also border to Hungary. This border was more hermetic, let's say. It was Geza can confirm this. It was hard to travel on this east bloc, because Yugoslavia was something in between these two east and west bloc. So if you had Yugoslavia passport, it was one of the most valuable passport in this time in Europe. Perhaps many Russian artists came to Yugoslavia, got this passport, and it was a possibility to go after that on the west. So I just...
It's interesting, very interesting for us to listen and to learn about this, because I never thought that after independence you will also have different borders that were open and now they are closed, as you told. So it's interesting to learn about that. And what about the music education in that time? You went to the music school, and how many lessons you had? How it was organized? Can you share with us?
Yes, actually, the teaching plan or a curricula has been established, I think, 1979 for a complete, the latest one for a complete Yugoslavia. And it was very similar. Perhaps if you would like to study in Belgrade, on the primary music school, it was same like in Zagreb or in Ljubljana or some other cities in former Yugoslavia. And this curricula came somehow from the Soviet Union. And it was, let's say, a good part of this influence, because the country was really warning about a good education, and also some method like Kodai method was very familiar in some places, especially in Zagreb, and also in some places like Ljubljana. So very advanced methods for teaching. And but we were not familiar with some methods like Suzuki. It came after that. So the major impact was the Shevchik, for sure, because some students of Ševčík were the most important teachers after that in this Yugoslavia after Second World War. Like perhaps Václav Huml in Zagreb, very important teacher, and also Leo Pfeiffer, who was a teacher of my teacher, and there was a great legacy of Ševčík, and also some German methods. I think perhaps there was a gap just for the early beginners, like we were not introduced with this early method of Geza, like color strings. First I was introduced with a poor Roland method in my gymnasium in a middle school to my middle school professor. He was very, I have to say, very advanced in this thinking what to do.
And Kristian, when did you start to go to the music school? Which age?
I started with the age of 7.
7. And
Yeah.
many kids went there. It was popular to go to music school. Everybody wants to learn music. Or...
Yes, I have to notice the director of music school was a school friend of my mother, and that was perhaps somehow linked because he knew me from my before, and actually, as I said, I would like to play violin. I was very strict. There was no other idea, just violin.
And how many kids in your class, a violin class?
So in those time in Celje,
you remember?
Yeah, the Celje is the third biggest city in Slovenia. I was going in this school where I'm teaching still now, and we have also a primary music school and also a conservatoire on both level. But in this time it was just a primary music school. So there were 2 teachers in this time, and each of one had approximately about 20 pupils.
And how many lessons did you have a week?
There was up to 6 years, 2 times per 30 minutes or 60 minutes per week. And after that, because I left also the 7th and 8th year, and you could in this time also study 10 years in the primary music school. But after 8 year, 7.5, 8 year, I went already in Ljubljana in the music gymnasium. And in music gymnasium, we had 3 times per 45 minutes. And
individual lesson.
Individual lesson. And after that, in academy, 2 times 45 or 1 time, 1 per week, 60 minutes. That was depending.
Great. And you had what kind of other classes did you have in the music school? Did you have some collective practicing or learn theory?
Yeah, in a primary music school, we had a separate solfege theory, which was working both on a relative and a absolute method. And after that, also after 4th year, chamber music. And also after 4th, 5th year, orchestra. And
that's a very rich curriculum. Yeah, I would say not used nowadays, unfortunately. And it was free. The school was free, or you need to pay? Or...
Actually, it was always basically for free. The parents should just pay a small amount for it was actually for electricity, for water, and so some of so-called extra expenses. But actually, they don't. The parents were not paying the rehearsals or the lessons for a teacher, because the salary of the teacher was coming from the government, from a ministry for the education, and it is same now. It is the music system in Slovenia. Music school system is still part of a national educational system, and I think it's very good, especially for the small countries, because everyone can afford this. Basically, it costs per month some 35 euros. And for
Very,
renting,
very cheap.
yeah, and for renting some instrument, the fractional sizes from 1/8 measure to let's say 3/4 is 25, 30 euros. So a little bit as a 50 euros per month. When
And yeah, and is the same curricula or it changed since your childhood?
The curricula has changed 2003. This first curricula from, as I mentioned, 1979, because they realized that younger and younger pupils are starting, and some of the material like Kreutzer Etidas or Mazas are not suitable for early beginners, and so
yeah, but I was speaking about the lessons per week and this kind of organization. Is still
I
the same
understand.
or?
Yes, the actually it has not changed. Now is some pupils or students who are very good, who got some special prizes, gold medals, and so on in competition, can even get more minutes per week. That's a new one from this, and also after the now is divided. The first level is from 0 to 6 year, and then is coming the additional 2 years, 7 and 8, and every pupil on the primary music school can have additional so 60 plus 30 minutes, 2 times 45 minutes.
Wow, it seems it's a very good country to learn music. So if you are listening us and you have some child that wants to learn music, well, maybe you can immigrate to Slovenia. It's a nice country.
You are mostly welcome.
Cheap and good curriculum.
You are mostly welcome. You know, it was in a once a very strong discussion how much this system costs for country. We have 72 public music school, 5 conservatoires, and 1 academy, and it there was an answer of one very prominent teacher. The complete system is yearly costing less as a one small warship for army, for navy, and a small warship, not a cruiser or something like that.
And so, music for sure can be also a very good weapon of defense, I would say.
Exactly. And that was a targeting point of this.
So they are speaking so much about defense, we can defend.
Yeah.
Okay, Kristian, tell me, when you were a young guy, like first time you were making small concerts with your teenager friends, what it was the dream of these young musicians in Slovenia? What was you didn't know that the world could change? You were still citizen of Yugoslavia. What was your dream as a musician? Do you say what it was in your mind?
As I'm looking back, I think the breaking point was to start playing in the orchestra, for sure. And you know, when you are promoting from the orchestra, from the third violin to second violin in the full orchestra, and suddenly in the last year, I was concert master. I don't know somehow, but I was in this position. And then came one older colleague, or Clementina. She was already in the conservatoire in Ljubljana, and after one concert, she congratulated me, and that was a fantastic. I was really in heaven, because she was really a fantastic violinist. She studied in the class of Igor Rozim, and she just congratulates such a to such a small boy playing very poor. And so I was really that was a breaking point, I have to notice. And after that, my teacher put me in the Celje Chamber Orchestra. It was like amateur orchestra, but and I was playing with some adult players, doctors, attorneys, and so, and completely different atmosphere. Always, not only me, but some colleagues also. And after that, actually, he proposed, and I was not quite sure to continue with music, but there were some competitions, review, and so, and he proposed me really to continue study in Ljubljana. And you know very well how hard it is after in the age of 14, let's say 15, 14, 15, to leave your town and to go 150 kilometers.
Yeah, I was thinking that you would answer that my dream it was to be a viola player.
Can you repeat this?
Yeah, you didn't understand?
I didn't catch quite well, but I think please repeat this again.
I was waiting that you say that when I was young, my dream it was to become a viola player, and you succeeded.
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay, is that something that you miss from the old times that you think it would be very nice to have now in the music schools? If you think when you were a child in these times, do you think that there are something that we lost, or we are better now? What do you think?
Good question. I think I would like that my teacher while teacher, would be more patient with me. For sure. That was especially, you know, when you're growing up, and so I have to notice he was very impatient. And from this perspective, as now I'm teaching, his method would not run in this time. Somehow it was, but that was a general influence from, let's say, Soviet kind of teaching, very hard teaching.
Maybe because of that you are so active in ESTA, and you are so active to help. And as you mentioned before, You know, Christian went to ESTA Slovenian and he saw everything is a mess and he fixed everything. I have to say that when I came to the central board, everybody was fixed. So maybe Christian was also good here to help to fix. So that's very nice. So Christian, I met Christian. I have to say that I met Christian in Slovenia because I went for the ESTA International Conference. For the ones that are the listeners and need to know about this, you know, ESTA organizes an international conference every year, and every year in a different country. Next year, all this year it will be in Amersfoort in the Netherlands. Next year will be in Finland, Helsinki. So be attentive and follow us and join our international conference. Yes, Christian. When I met him, he was secretary of Slovenia ESTA, and now he is the president. So maybe now you could share us a little bit about the wishes and why members in Slovenia join the ESTA and what they are looking for. What do you think is important to help for music education becomes better? Let us know a bit about this.
Yeah, I was asking last 10 years why the numbers of members are so variable, are coming up, are coming down. Why is this number not so fixed? Previously, we also had in a statute the article about the regular members, those who are paying a membership fee, and those who are not paying. They were non-regular, irregular, let's say, members. And after that, as I took the presidency of a branch, somehow I asked my colleagues from board to change this statute, and so now we have just members who are paying, and perhaps from this first number almost about 200, but let's say from early beginning, but we got number of 60, and so the point is really to do the plan for the complete year. So you have really to drag every colleague to come on a webinar, to come on a general assembly, to the meeting, and it's hard. So but some of the colleagues are really asking for this, especially the young members. Now is we can see really a huge amount of several seminars, webinars. Many organizations are organizing this, but I think the
what do you think? What do you think is the main difficulty for a young teacher nowadays in Slovenia?
To decide.
What?
Yes, to decide what is good and what is just an instant, but just for a short period working. And there are some seminars, let's say, which are or some teachers who are coming and going, and the point is really to some of these organizers to get a fee, and that's it. While the point of ESTA is really to get the best of the best for teachers, like GESA seminars, and we also had in the past many seminars of Professor Igor Ozim, who was our honorary member, and also Helfried Pfister, and some colleagues also from Italy and Austria, and as well in Croatia. And that was and really to effort this to colleagues from a small amount, not to any big fee. So mostly colleagues are getting are paying this or the school are paying these seminars for colleagues. But some of them have to do this from their own pocket. So our intention was always from ESTA Slovenia that it is affordable for everybody. That and after that also to get the paper, the document of attendance and so, because that's the document is important for a promotion of a young teacher in the system of promoting. And
but if we think about needs, about well, doubts or questions, imagine now, in your school, when it came to your school a new colleague that is very young, like in the 20s, starting to give lessons. What do you think is the most need that they want answers? Let's say, what is the most difficult thing that they must to live in the school and with the students and parents and all this in Slovenia is.
First of all, I think to establish a proper contact with parents. I think nowadays the parents demands to the teachers, especially for strict teachers, are very high. And some of these parents played some instruments, even string instruments in the past, and some of them are calling even the experts, about the teaching, and it's very hard to cooperate. While on the other side, there are some parents who are they don't know anything about the music, about music theory, about music culture, or very small, and they are growing in music together with their children. So we have these two completely different poles of the same matter. And also the administration. Administration, Slovenia, that's a bad heritage, has very strict and strong administration, as you also I know from Portugal. That's the same problem with legacy of all totalitarian systems, the bureaucracy. And so I think it would be really necessary to ease this administration for teachers. And perhaps the third thing which is necessary and nowadays crucial is ICT, working with ICT, with modern technologies. I was in several situations like an early bird, and I sang too early, right? Or like a rooster, but and many colleagues also directors told me, "Oh, Kristian, you are too early." But nowadays, I think mm, the string teacher should be equipped very well also with technology. And we,
Mhm. And yes, absolutely. Are the parents supporting the children in learning music in Slovenia, or they just go there like to pass time? That's it.
both, George.
Both.
Honestly, both. We are sometimes we are perhaps just a kindergarten, the extended part
Mm,
of kindergarten. uh,
mm,
but on the other hand, I also have many parents who are working, cooperating with me, and that's really fantastic work. And I really enjoy. And if I have a 2-3 in a class of this matter, I'm the happiest man, the happiest teacher, and I really enjoy it. But I also know that some of students or pupils are coming in school while they are also doing some sports,
mm,
etc. And it's a part of their free time. And but we all know that for string instruments, you really need a time for practice, and somehow to persuade them that you have to have a joy for practicing, not a need. That's
mm.
that's the hardest point.
Yeah, what would be your advice for a young teacher to help him to give this joy to the children?
To come to ESTA, to come to ESTA talk.
Well,
Very simple.
that's the perfect answer. Okay, thank
Yes,
you very much.
because I really think that's one of the best idea you made, George. ESTA talk, and we really have to talk. There are,
Mm,
and also a small talk, big talks, many talks.
mm,
That's a lack of our job. We are working individual, each in individual room. Sometimes I can meet my colleagues only on the beginning of my schedule or in the end, and in between we are not
mm,
communicating because we are working in these individual classes. And so we need these talks, and sometimes when we are in troubles, especially young colleagues, um, to share these troubles without any
mm,
fear with older colleagues. Sometimes I need, I think that was the problem. And after that are coming frustrations, and so
mm.
and so we really have to be colleagues, and ESTA is the most proper organization for this.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, for sure. This feeling of community and proud to be teacher. Yeah, proud to be music teacher. It helps a lot, I guess. And yes, we are here for that. Thank you very much, Christian. Well, everything what is good comes to an end. We are very near our 45 minutes talks. I don't know, Christian, if you have some subject we didn't touch that you would like to share with us. I interrupt you in the beginning a little bit. I don't know if something is missing. If you want to say some important things to share with our audience.
Many thanks that I was your guest. Mostly, I was always in the role of the host or a speaker, and so and
Mm,
it was very rare, and it is very rare occasion I can speak about myself. And many thanks for
mm.
this opportunity. Thank you.
So,
Listen,
in this case, I will open the questions to the audience. So, if anybody wants to make a question to Christian, he's here for us today. He's obliged to answer. Yes, Gaza, go on.
A question actually just or it can be a question. When I go to a university conservatory, uh, almost when I enter I can smell the atmosphere almost. And as you know, with all institutions which are working with art, it is very difficult to have a place where the atmosphere is really team-like, that people, colleagues, they like each other, and there are no groups. I felt, honestly, not to be polite to George, but when I went to this old building in Porto, I did not know that this is a university, but I entered, and I felt a good atmosphere there. And the same was in Ljubljana. When you invited me, and we had the university there, people were so nice, and they were greeting you all. I could feel, I could sense that there is not such a feeling that I am teaching in this way, I'm teaching in this way, because this can ruin our work. If we have so many little groups who are not tolerating the other, then it is against the children. And I felt this good atmosphere in Ljubljana, at least with the teachers, that they had a common understanding, and we had a very nice 2 days there. How am I just how to say naive because it was a short visit, or do you feel so? You are a small country, you can't afford to be in different camps. So I think so that you've succeeded, that there is a good common feeling in the university and among the ESTA members of Slovenia.
Yes, thank you, Geza. Again, we spoke already about these feelings that some buildings with has a special atmosphere, and I was also feeling very home in Porto. I mentioned Geza too. I could live in Porto, really. But I was also thinking in Celje where I was working. We are 12 on a string department. 12 teachers from violin, viola, cello, cellos, and basses. And we also have a ensemble. We all 12 are playing in this ensemble. At least once a year, we are making one short program or a concert. And I think that's the best thing really for a cooperation, because we musicians are training from our early youth special way of socializing. I think nowhere, even in sport, some group can reach such a high point of a socializing. And that's the gift of a music. And so I'm really happy when we're playing together in this group, because it's not even string orchestra with the 12 members. It's too small, but nevertheless we can play a majority of a program, and that's really fine. And when we had these periods for practicing, that's really fantastic. Did I answer on your?
Any other question?
Well, I don't know if this is a huge question, but and if this is the time and the place to ask. But yes. Since you mentioned technology and how teachers, string teachers should be using in a way technology, I feel like I'm fighting against technology all the time, because it's hard to get the students to practice right now because of that, because they want to be playing video games or things like that. So any suggestion you would have from what you said before? Yes, I understand playing in group, it's something big, something that can help, but maybe any other suggestions you have?
Yeah, yes, for sure. The technology is like a fire. You can use this use it very smartly from the early beginning, but you can burn yourself very quickly. So that's the point. And some devices with displays like smartphones, tablets, and so we know that they're affecting very bad after a long period on the children. But when some of this technology is really used on the proper way, and when teacher is performing or making, like me, I'm doing a blended learning all the time from, let's say, for last 10 years. The point of this is I can expand my learning also in a period of a home practicing. That's perhaps the major point of technology. I have on a my learning management system like Moodle, some apps, etc., for piano accompaniment when student can regulate to play with the metronome, to play with the different speeds, and this I'm using from the early reading concerts to the Wieniawski concert, let's say, and so from the primary music school to the end of conservatoire, and it is very useful. A lot of my students has to record themselves for a homework and send the records of their practicing to me. I'm analyzing this at home and my free time, and we are discussing about their home practicing, the problems, and so. And I think this, and for example, during the Corona period, if we would not have the ICT, we would be really naked, naked. So somehow we have to take the advantages of this technology, but to be very aware of this. And that's the task also for academies in Europe and around the world to introduce technology on the proper way in a system of education, like some systems like blended learning is, or flip learning. There are several methods, and not only for music. These methods are running in a medicine school very well, in some other kind of science, and so why should we not take this also in the educational sphere?
Thank you very much, Kristian, for your answer. I don't know if Ruth wants to ask more about this kind of things. Where are you from, Ruth?
I'm from Spain.
Spain.
Yeah, I guess we're close.
Yeah, we are neighbors.
Yeah.
So if people in Spain are listeners, there is a fantastic organization there. It calls ESTA. I don't know if you know ESTA. It's our organization. Well, so join ESTA and help them, because they need people with energy to put more people together and speak about so important things, and to establish this fantastic community of people that loves music and are proud to be music teachers.
Yeah, you're right.
So thank you very much for being with us for one more ESTA Talks. Be attentive, because we will publish soon the next one in April. We have a very secret and interesting guest that we will share with you very, very, very soon. So be attentive on our network our social media, our website. Always we are here for you. And if you have questions or comments, always send to us. We have go to our website. Is there the email account, so you can communicate to us, ask about what you want to listen in the ESTA Talks. Also, all the ESTA Talks will be published in our YouTube page. The last ones are already there. There you can also comment. You can say if you have different ideas, or you can ask questions. You can suggest people to come here, or you can yourself uh, suggest to come here to speak with us. We are always open to speak with everybody about music and music learning and teaching. So bye-bye. Prepare for the workshop series of Gaza that starts already next Sunday. So in 7 days and 23 hours, because it will start at the same hour that we start. So be ready for the workshop series. We have already more than 100 registrations. So it means we will be a big community. So we are very, very happy for the success of this event powered by the Central Board of ESTA. So bye-bye, and just keep one eye on us.